Bonnie lives a simple life surrounded by fields and the rhythms of country life until her parents become drug dealers. Trapped in a spiral of substance abuse, their world transforms into a shadow of its former self. Love and laughter replaced with abuse and uncertainty. Bonnie finds herself navigating a world that she is ill-equipped to handle. Follow Bonnie as she embarks on a journey of healing and self-discovery, determined to rewrite her story and build a brighter future for herself, one small step at a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to another episode of THC Time. I am Christopher Pelton, the mad scientist of media here at THC Limitless and Ikuza TV. Part of my job, part of the thing that I love about what I do is I get an opportunity to go out there and explore work that is excellent quality work, but just isn't getting the light that it deserves for whatever reason, algorithms and all that stuff. And every once in a while, I come across something that even for me is unique. As a lot of you guys know at home, we do a lot of horror movies here. We do, wrestling stuff, and there's a lot involved. And it's not often that I get into original, more dramatic stories or things along those lines. So when this film was brought to my attention, I was very excited because I love to see new work from people. And I'm going to go ahead and bring out our guest for today. He is the director of this film, and he is also the head of Brickwall Films. And I will let you say that I'm going to call you Mr. Foster so I don't butcher your name.
Okay.
So thank you, sir, for coming out today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that we were able to connect. I know we were playing a little phone tag the last week or so. It's crazy time of year. Especially around here, there's just always something going on. But I was excited to see the movie. I was excited to see something that has the message that it has, presented in a different way. So I do have the trailer here. I'm going to go ahead and run the trailer, and we're going to talk a little bit about my brother's keeper.
Take care of yourself, man. Brothers for life, man. Let's keep in contact. What's going on? So I come to find out that Jordan is selling drugs. He owes somebody. And TJ, he in love with a Trey. What I saw, she getting out of a man's car, giving him money, and I'm like, yo, it's me. Like, I don't want your girl. Come on.
I love him, and TJ loves me.
Kill yourself, bro.
Listen, man, I know that y'all been together, and ever since I know you, since you was little, you always had a heart for people. Like, you love people. Like, that's never changed.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff indeed. So tell me, what is it that sparked your interest in film? Like what kicked that passion off?
So, I'm assuming, growing up, I always said I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to be in movies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I want to say 2016, because I really wanted to do photography.
Okay.
But then, I bought a camera, and I see good recording and stuff like that. And my friends, do music video. Well, not music videos, but it was rappers, singers, and I did the music video.
Sure.
So one day, me and my friends just sat down, we just chat, and we just talked about making a movie. And one day I was at work. I say, I had the camera, the editing software. Why not give it a shot? Whatever happens, happens. And I made a short film. Good, bad reviews. I was just getting my feet wet, as they say. So eventually, I kept going, and my feature film, Through the Pain, I won Best Actor, and it just hit me. I'm like, I'm winning awards left and right, and I just kept going. And now I love it. I'll be blessed to get roles. I'll be blessed to be in this film, be blessed in this web series. I just kept going, and here I am, 11-time award winner.
Very impressive. So it was one of those things that I think there's you can see yourself as an actor, and then certainly as a writer, director, and everything. As an actor, you can get a feel for the character that especially if it's somebody else's project. And they'd be like, "Oh, hey, we want you to come in and read for this role." And I was a theater kid myself when I was younger, so you can kind of you can kind of get the feeling, at least in my experience, that like that first read, like, okay, I can do this, and this is why I feel like this character, I'm the best person to represent this character.
Right.
Now the movie, My Brother's Keeper, certainly is not is outside of, as I said before, it's outside of the ordinary of what I usually do here. But I attracted the horror crowd first, but as a television guy now, I want to be able to shine a light and cast a spotlight on all kinds of movies. And genre films are great, but this particular story, tell me a little bit about what went into the making of it. Like what was this story's genesis, so to speak?
I mean, I feel like when I make films, I always try to make like family films, like TV PG-13 films, because you see on TV a lot of half naked girls, always a lot of killing and stuff like that. Sometimes I want to step out my box. I want to be different, to bring in more younger, for they can believe, they can see messages. Cause all my movies I do is always a message that don't give up, keep the faith, keep fighting for what you believe in and stuff like that. And My Brother's Keeper, I don't know, one day I was just writing, and it just hit me. I was like, man, let me just keep writing, and let's see where it goes. And so far, a lot of people liked it. It was one of those films that I knew it would do good, but I didn't think people will love it as they did. So I'm working on a part 2 now, saying, since y'all love part 1, part 2 is coming very soon. And I'm always grateful for the fans and the audience that love my projects and stuff.
Right. And that leads me to my next question. How have you been welcomed in not only in the indie film community, but in your neighborhood? Like because a lot of the stories, write what you know is what they say, and which doesn't, I'm a horror writer, so it doesn't apply to me, but it's like, write what you know, especially when you're talking about doing a movie and stuff like that. Now, did you grow up on the East Coast, or you're in New York now, right? You're in New York State or Brooklyn?
I'm in Jersey.
Oh, you're in Jersey now. Okay.
I was born in New York, and I moved out. I was like 5 years old, so I moved to Jersey, and here I am, been an East Coast baby all my life.
Okay. All right. I've spent some time living in New Jersey myself back in the day. Everything is 3 hours away. It's the weirdest thing. So throughout your process of putting these films together, it sounds to me like you were fortunate enough to come across people who saw your vision, who understood what it was that you were trying to do. And that is a tremendous gift in and of itself, because there are a lot of things that you can do. Like, and I tell this is an example I use all the time because it's a perfect metaphor for it. My father was in construction for like 30 years. He could build you a house, he could build you an office building, he could build you a church. I mean, the guy was just one of those guys. If you put a gun to my head and asked me to build you a birdhouse, I'm useless. But if you want me to make you a movie about how to build a birdhouse, that I can do. So, it's one of those things where, I learned from watching the world around me and seeing, growing up and watching the struggles that people went through, families went through, especially in the 90s, the drug epidemic and those type of things were tearing families apart. What was your childhood like growing up?
The childhood was actually good. I was always a good kid. I was never like a bad kid, like still was into fighting. I was always a good kid, helping others and stuff like that. I think one time my parents told me if I ever do something bad, if I go to jail, they not, bailing me out. So that always stick with me. And I said, I'm not trying to go to jail. So I'm trying to be on my best behavior.
Sure. And, and that's the thing. It's the one thing I can tell immediately, just in the last few minutes we've been talking, you come across as a genuine human being. There's no pretension. There's no, it's like you found your path and you're striving to improve your craft with every film you do. We're always getting better. The next project, we're always striving to get better. And the audience, once they discover, hey, this guy's got a unique voice. What's he talking about next? That's the exciting part is capturing those people, and even if it's, in the beginning, even if it's like 5 or 10, 5 or 10 people who are constantly reaching out to you and being like, oh, hey man, I loved what you did with this. What's coming up next? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. That's exciting. It's exciting for fans, but it's also very exciting for creators.
Right.
When your fans reach out to you, and like I said, again, as far as I can tell, you're very approachable. And when they reach out to you, it seems like that's the kind of energy that would invigorate you, to do it not only for yourself, but to know that there are people out there waiting for the next movie from Brickwall Films. And that is a tremendous thing. How have the is it 11-time award winner so far? Very impressive. Both as an actor and a director as well, or just okay, perfect. Hey, that's good to be good at a lot of things, especially with film, because film is it's a tricky thing, because as a publisher, writing is a solo project up until a point. And then you've got to get editors and everybody else involved. But with filmmaking, like, you kind of have to have that basic crew around you. Have you found a team? I mean, the work is improving all the time. Have you found that core group of folks where you can just like pick up the phone and be like, hey man, I just had this idea, can we get together and talk about it and let's see what we can lay down? Have you had that experience yet?
No, but I do hit people with like ideas. Like, cause right now I want to, hopefully if I could do it this year, I want to work on a horror film. So I do have like a cast of members that I know that's down for sure, if that, makes sense. Cause I ask like a lot of people sometimes, they quick to say, yes, I'm do it. But when the time comes, they something comes up, they have a lot of excuses. So it's like, I do know I have a crew that love the act of that, the art that I do. So excellent. I definitely do have a crew on that.
Perfect. And it's It is a weird world, the indie horror film world. But again, I have met some just tremendous people who, you know, they don't want to, they're not carrying around the ego. They're not carrying around, oh, well, I did this, so blah, blah. It's, they're down to earth. They love what they do. And if they have $500 in their pocket that they don't need, they're going to try to make a movie out of it. And that's cool. You know, that kind of a passion for your art, whatever it is, to be like, you know what, I'm down on my ride, but this story's got to get told, or this painting's got to be, got to be made. So that's like, yeah, I love, that's the energy I love. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and play my favorite game. This is a really good book from a really good writer.
From the author of Uncovering Norman, Death in the Cards, and The One in the Noose. Sharon Cody moved to Florida for peace, but found her ex-husband's ghost haunting her new life. Just when she thought supernatural threats were her only problem, a real-life predator starts stalking her every move. As supernatural dread collides with very real danger, Sharon must wield the psychic strength she's long denied. Because in Gulfside, even paradise can turn deadly, and if she can't fight back, she may lose everything.
Yes, check out SusanERogers.com. Susan is a tremendous author, delightful human being, one of the best people I've had the pleasure of working with over the last few years. And she just keeps getting better. And her books, just every time she puts out a new book, it's like, wow. I'm like, you are moving along. Now it's time to play Straight Fire.
What if CAT really spelled dog?
Alrighty, so here we go. This is Straight Fire. 5 random questions, no wrong answers. Don't think about it too long, because honestly, it doesn't really matter that much. First question and last question, however, are always the same. So the first question I ask everyone is, if dogs wore pants, would they wear them on 2 legs or 4 legs?
4 legs.
All right. What is your favorite bad movie? Like, what's the one movie, like, if you were watching and like somebody came into the house, you'd be like, oh,
That's a tough one. I can't even think of one right now.
All right. There's a lot of them. For me, it's always been Jaws 4. You want to get away from a shark, go to Illinois. Don't go to the Bahamas. I've been in Illinois a year now, not a single shark sighting.
I guess movies that's like over 2 hours.
Okay.
Plus.
All right. What was your first story? Like, what was the first complete idea that you sat down and were like, I need to write this out? Like, what do you remember what that was?
So I do. Okay. So remember when I told you that me and my friends just sat down and said we need to work on a film and stuff like that, a short film? I remember it was called Target the Movie. So this one was based, like, I was working for a drug dealer, but not a male. This one was a female. She was gay. So I just, since I'm trying to switch things up, other than have like a male doing the tradition, let's get a female to see what she's at and stuff like that.
Sure. And
I don't know, I just wrote it, we planned it, shot it. I won an award for it too. So
there you go.
But
So at this point in time in your career, if you could work with any actor, alive or dead, who would that be, and what would the project be?
Will Smith for sure.
Okay.
Now the project, I don't know. Will done over at least 50 projects, so I'll probably say Pursuit of Happiness, like if there was a part 2.
Sure.
Because Through the Pain was, I don't want to say it was similar to the movie, but one day I was at work and I was watching the movie, and I really spoke this to existence. I said, I can make a movie like this, and I did. but it was like way different. I was a homeless guy and stuff like that. But I told myself, I said, you know what? This movie's gonna help me win awards. I'm gonna make people cry. And I'm gonna make some money. And all three came true.
Nice.
And the funny thing about the movie was, at first it wasn't even about me being an actor. The original plan was to have a single mother, you know, protecting her child and stuff like that. But I couldn't get no actor, so I said, you know what? I don't want to get rid of the script. Why? Let's see where this goes. And I will say that was the first movie that put me on the map as award wise.
Nice.
And here I am.
Awesome. And the last question, and once you answer it, I'll explain why I ask. When you are at the grocery store, are you able to reach the items on the top shelf?
Depends.
Okay. The reason I ask is because it was one of the very first questions that anybody ever asked me when I did my first interview years ago. And I'm 6'4", so the top shelf is not an obstacle for me. I help old ladies. I can't go into a grocery store for more than 10 minutes without some nice old lady asking me to get her something off the top shelf. So, you know, if you ever hear that I'm a top shelf guy, that's why. That's all they're talking about. I help to. My first wife was 4'5", so you know, I help the short people. I am their friend. So what's the next adventure, my friend? What are you cooking? I mean, because I know the creative type, we're always cooking something up. There's always an idea floating around.
So as of right now, I'm working on My Brother's Keepers 2. Hopefully I could finish the film to this year. Once the weather finally breaks, I could finish that. I also want to work on a horror film. This will be my first horror film. Okay. So, cause I see people do horror films. They have like a lot of special effects and stuff like that. I'm not really into like the special effects. I would like, if I had a chance to do it, I would do it.
Sure.
But my other projects are done. Ellis for Legacy is done. Nice. Through the Pain is streaming. My Brother's Keepers is about to start streaming.
It is indeed
on this platform. So yeah, just cool, hopefully man. I can get on like HBO Max, Tubi, Peacock. Because since everyone do streaming sites, that's the goal for. I'm assuming that's the goal now.
Oh yeah,
YouTube. I feel like YouTube is not dead, but it's not like what it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
It's real good for marketing and advertising, just because it's short attention span theater, really. Whereas with the channels, with the streaming channels, like we're on Tubi, the movie that me and a guy made last year, we've been on Tubi for like the last 6 months, and the views have been really good, and the reviews have been positive. So there's a lot of different avenues available, and I think that given what you've got going on, given what your plans are in the future, hang out for a minute after we wrap up, because there's a couple things I'd like to talk to you about. So it sounds like the future is very full. There's a lot happening, and My Brother's Keeper, I'm excited to debut it. I think that it's going to give folks a reason to come and check out the movie, come and check out the channel, and then we all kind of grow together, which is my whole plan. My whole goal is to, rising with a rising tide or something like that raises all ships, or whatever the saying is. That's my whole goal right now is to promote and get folks out there and seen. And I'm lucky because, not only am I able to do that, I'm also highly entertaining myself as well. Like when I talk to people and they're like, "Oh, hey, would you mind watching my movie?" No, I wouldn't mind watching your movie. And a lot of the times they're great movies. So I'm like, yeah, hell, my job is to find great movies. Okay, well, that's a pretty good job. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to happen tonight, folks. Right after this interview plays, we're going to be debuting My Brother's Keeper right here on Kuza TV. and I got a good feeling. I got a really good feeling. We're going to start running. We'll start running the trailer, and we'll build that hype. We'll get the word out there and get people coming over. And I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the future. And I think that there's going to be some good stuff going on there. So we're going to go ahead and jump out of here for today. I'm going to run one last ad before we go. We will talk. We'll talk in a bit, but I can see a few things. So that's always a good one. My brain works that way. It usually works out pretty well. So we're going to go ahead and go out with, this is one of the weirdest commercials I've ever seen. And I didn't know it existed until recently. But it's a fun one. So folks, I am again, Christopher Pelton, Mad Scientist of Media here at Yakuza TV and THC Limitless. It is my good friend here, Jameek.
Yes.
Jameek. Okay. Yeah. Woo. Yes. Usually I suck with names. I think if you guys stick around, you're going to be seeing a lot more of him and Brickwall Films right here on THC Time and on the Yakuza TV channel. So folks, we'll catch you on the next one, and be sure to stick around because there's a great movie coming up right after this. Thank you, sir, for your time. And here's to a bright future for all of us.
Yes, sir.
This is the Morgan family coming home from the lake. Ed and Marilyn have been married 12 years. That's Kelly Sue and Casey in the back seat. They've driven this road a dozen times before, and nothing ever happened. But today is different. Today, Ed will become a killer. And here's his weapon. Good old Ed Morgan. A mighty careful man in his own home. He can't imagine how anyone could have been so careless. Ed Morgan, everyman. Anyone who handles fire in any form is a potential killer. Anyone can start a fire and never even know it. Please be very careful with fire. Please. Only you can prevent forest fires.